friends, I'm Prairie Vintage. My name is Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube, and I use spirits, my intuition, the tarot to communicate energies to you guys, most amazing, beautiful viewers. If you're new to this channel, welcome. I'm so glad you found me. I hope that you guys stay, and for those of you guys who are returning, I'm so blessed, so grateful to be here doing your reading yet again, and I am very excited to see what comes through with this reading. You guys are all very safe and welcome in this space with me today. And I sure hope that the messages do resonate. So today's reading, we're looking at the person on your mind and the connection that you're thinking about. And from this person's perspective, what is the biggest challenge that they're having in this connection with you? Now, it could be something about you specifically that's challenging to them, or it could be something that's just perceived by them as a hindrance or a challenge in the connection that is getting in the way. Okay, of things maybe progressing, or of this connection maybe being at its optimal state. But because it's this person's perspective, it is of course not objective, it's subjective. Okay, so it might be a complete illusion, projection of their own sort of making. Okay, so this means that this reading might be triggering, which leads me to the disclaimer. Okay, now if you're new to tarot is not telling you or predicting what the future state is. Tarot is a mirror, and it's reflecting back to you a state of consciousness. Okay, so if we're basing our decisions based on a YouTube reading or a YouTube video, we're not using tarot properly. Okay, and we need to develop our own intuition so that we know whether that pile or that messaging is ours, and that comes through time. Okay, so we can get frustrated when our intuition is blocked, and we might fall into the trap of like taking messages that aren't really our message because our intuition isn't developed. Okay, so that's solely your own thing to work with spirit, whether your intuition is working or not working. Okay, my commitment to you is to deliver the messaging as I see it, the energy as I see it. And there is no need to contort it, force it, fix it. If you're confused about it, it's not your pile. Okay, no one's forcing you to be here. If these messages make you feel uncomfortable, then I say good, because that's forcing you outside of your comfort zone, and it's most likely going to provide you with a form of healing, which healing is not comfortable. Healing pushes us, and it makes us face certain things. Okay, but if we're not ready, then we get very triggered. Okay, and if we're triggered, that's only you to look inside. That's between you and spirit, has nothing to do with me. I'm just reading the cards and the energy. I'm not telling you what is what. I'm just reflecting back to your state of consciousness. So energy, lots of frequencies of energy, okay? And you can tap into any one you want. You're a free being with free will. You're not forced to one frequency, but you have a predominant state of energy. And that's what pulls through this reading. And so if you're stuck to one sort of frequency, it's going to be reflected, in this reading. And so that connection is vibrating at a state of whatever it's vibrating at. And that's what I'm pulling through here. Okay, so you can change your frequency. And because energy is formless, it doesn't have a timeline. So it could be past, present, future, but it's the same connection. And so if our consciousness is not ready to take in messages because it doesn't understand it, that message, that reading will not make sense, and it will not resonate. And it could be your connection in a future state. This is why readings are timeless, and you come across readings when you should, or messages when you should, because it'll be the right time for you. Okay, that's why if you're scratching your head, if you're confused, if it's too complicated, it's not your reading. And no, I'm not going to change the way I read the energy, because I'm channeling. That's how the channel comes through. I don't choose how the channel comes through. Okay, just so you don't choose your hair color or whatever, it's going to come as it comes, and that's exactly as I read it. I'm not everyone's cup of tea. I'm a straight shot of whiskey, and not everyone likes straight shots of whiskey. They like to be cozied. Okay, if you like to be cozied, I might not be your reader. Okay, but I do hope that it resonates for you. And if you don't like the reading itself, but it provides you with some form of growth, then I've done what I've been committed to doing here. Okay, I don't really care to make friends. I really just want you to move on with your healing, your development, your ascension, and become the best version of yourself. And that's really my commitment here. Okay, so I want you guys to understand that you guys are beautiful souls and that you are whole and complete because you are a child of God. And so nothing or no one can dictate to you who you are or what you're about. Okay, that is all sort of illusions based on conditions and projections. And so we can either snap out of a sleepy state where we're trapped in repetitive sort of tarot readings where we're not developing, we're not healing, we're not moving forward, we're in cognitive dissonance, and we have no one to blame but ourselves. Or we can use the tarot reader to help us to connect to the divine, because to read our own tarot back to us is challenging because we have our own shadows, and as most tarot readers know, it's almost impossible to objectively read our own tarot. Okay, so no shame in going to tarot. Tarot is your bridge between you and the divine, just like any spiritual practice. Some people use crystals, rocks, some people use church, some people use tarot. It's no shame in what you use. And I channel what the divine wants to communicate to you. And this is providing healing and a connection. So any form of healing is love. Okay, despite whether it's difficult or challenging or something we don't want to hear, if it provides healing in order to make something better, then it's love, as far as I'm concerned. And that's my main goal. Love, love, love. Okay? And love doesn't necessarily always feel good when the truth isn't ready to be heard. So we're ready for the message when our consciousness is there, when we're receptive, when our intuition's clean. And if we're not quite there, then we go and find the right reader for that time frame. Okay, so this is why maybe I'm not everyone's reader. These piles might not be everyone's connection, and this might not be the message for you today, and that's absolutely fine. You can come back later, or you can, work with the divine, whatever you like. No one's holding you hostage here. You don't have to take the messages, okay? And I am, like I said, solely reading the energy. I get intuitive hits. I get communication from the divine. I see visions, I see energy, I read cards, and I use everything in the reading to sort of communicate to you exactly what's being pulled through. And sometimes it's very impossible to put words to energy, okay? And this is what I try to do with help from the divine, but these communications come through exactly as they should for all the people who come through here. And since there's a lot of energies and people here, it's not going to be a simple phrase. It might be whatever. It might have a lot of different sort of turns to it. And that is because the right people are needing to hear that message. So don't force it to fit. If it's very specific messages, it could be for certain individuals, but the overall essence of that pile should match your connection. Okay, without forcing it. And if it doesn't resonate, then don't force it and go check out another pile. Okay, beautiful people, that's my disclaimer for this reading. Let's get into the decks that we're using. So the oracle decks we're using, not very many today. And for the tarot, we'll be using, depending on which option you choose, let's go through them. For option 1, we'll be using the Wild Unknown Tarot. Option number 2, we'll be using the Tarot of Mystical Moments. Option number 3 is the Phantom Wise Tarot. And option number 4 is the Unseen World Tarot, which doesn't really help you, I guess. See the back? Maybe that'll help you, because I'm not sure where this one came from. Somewhere on the interwebs. So, beautiful people, that's the 4 tarot packs, your 4 options. Remember, we could have past, present, future energies, and we could be tapping into our own perspective, meaning this is your perspective in regards to what's challenging about your connection with your person, because it comes flipped. Okay, so if I say it's you and it's your person, or if I say it's your person and it's you, you'll just have to swap it. Only you know what resonates for you, okay? But don't change any of the messages or force the messages to be anything other than what's being delivered, but you can attribute who is who in the zoo and make it work for you. Okay, so I'll leave this with you, and I will see you at your pick. Hello, hello, gorgeous angels, pile 1. You guys picked the Wild Unknown Tarot. Beautiful deck. I love this. It's always a serious reading when this deck pulls through. I won't pull the tarot just yet. Let's pull the oracles first, okay, and then we'll do the tarot. And we're looking at the person on your mind, the connection you came here about, and what it is that this person feels or understands to be the biggest challenge with you and them in this connection. This could be anyone at all, okay? Maybe we get someone you're not expecting to see here that might be more energetically struggling with the connection between you and them. Okay, or this could be flipped. It's your own struggles and challenge in a connection. And if that's the case, then you might want to go to another pile and see if it's the other person's perspective. Okay, because I can't help how energy comes through here, but I do know that we are asking Spirit for energy in regards to a connection that's pulling through energetically. And this person's perspective in regards to what's the biggest challenge, okay, between you and this person. So, Spirit, pile number 1. The biggest challenge pile 1's person on their mind thinks is getting in between pile 1 and this person, or an obstacle that is difficult or some form of challenge that is hindering this connection between pile 1 and the person on their mind. Coming from pile 1's person's perspective, we have a rebel that revealed itself. I do feel there's one more. Pile number 1's person, please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 1 in this connection. I feel one more. Thank you so much, Spirit. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 1 and this connection. What is pile 1's person's perspective when it comes to the biggest challenge getting in the way of pile 1 and their person connecting smoothly? Okay, so the only one who revealed itself was Rebel. So usually when I have a card reveal itself, it's kind of known. Everything else might be in the subconscious. Okay, so the Rebel says here, light attributes challenges authority to affect social change, rejects spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs. Shadow attributes rejects legitimate authority out of anger, rebels out of peer pressure or fashion. So this is like an immature energy pulling through here. Okay, so I don't know if this is a projection of how they see themselves or how they see you. We're still going to find out and see what pulls through. So we have the Moose. This is masculine energy, and it's quite overbearing in some way here. It's like larger than life energy. Very fixed, very stubborn. Rescuer, light attributes. Provides strength and support to others in crisis, acts out of love with no expectation of reward. Shadow attributes assumes that the rescued will reciprocate, keeps the rescued one needy. Okay, and we have the Poet, light attributes, expresses soul insights in symbolic language. Shadow attributes turns a lyric gift to negative or destructive effect. We have the Warrior, number 10, and we have the Vision, number 55. 55 is a master number. Change is the only constant. Divinely orchestrated change. That's a rainbow energy, so I'm getting Hangman Pisces energy. And we have number 34 with the River. We have Chaos, 51, or the number 6. And we have the Great Serpent, number 45. We have the Moon, number 2. So feminine energy. We have Pisces, Cancer, and then we have the Virgin's Milk, number 40. Or should we put this? Let's put this right here. Okay, let me tap into this energy and see what comes through here. Okay, like I said, you might have to crisscross energies. I am kind of feeling two energies pulling through here, maybe to give more perspective in regards to what this connection's about, so that you know what's going on here. Okay, give me a sec. Okay, there are two energies here, and I'll do my best to sort of delineate between the two energies. There's one energy here that seems a little immature and very stubborn and fixed in having their way. And there seems to be another passive energy here. Okay, and the passive energy is sort of in some form of a victim energy. And I feel it's almost like a codependent connection in a way here, because I feel like the more prominent energy, that's this rebel and this moose sort of energy, is one that is forcing their will and way because of a shadow. Okay, they both have shadow, but the shadow of the person who's more prominent here is fixed in a way here because they have something to prove to themselves, and it is only reflected back to them when people they're engaged with respond in a certain way that reflect back to this person what they feel they're lacking, or what it is that they missed out on or couldn't generate from within them when they were younger. So in other words, if they had a dysfunctional upbringing where they didn't feel loved or cared for or valued for how they were, they would act out. Or they act out now because they're wanting attention. So they'd act out as younger children in order to get attention. And the only way I would get love or noticed or appreciated or valued is by being this way. And so now here you are, and now the only thing I know is to show up in this energy. Okay, and then the other person here is someone that loves very deeply, potentially, and has a very difficult time learning boundaries. And so this person is like, I'm going to hitch myself to your toxic ways of being and put all my value in how it is that you treat me. And so because you sort of put me second, or I'm not reciprocated here, I feel I'm not worthy enough or deserving enough to be assertive or my truest self and be loved for that. I have to be accommodating to immature tyrant bullies. Okay, now I'm not saying that the other person is tyrant bully, but to get the messaging across, it's like the person who is victim here, I guess, if you will, the one who isn't getting their way, is sort of doing it to themselves in a state of feeling like the other person is bullying them or making them feel in a certain way, and it's unjust or unfair. And the person who is forcing their will is thinking that the only way that they're going to get appreciated and loved is by being overbearing in some capacity here. So there's a lot of energy that speaks to both people here, because I feel like both people want to connect with each other, you know, and I feel like it's really the classic two attachment styles here that are codependent in a way that isn't healthy, because we have the anxious attachment style and we have the more dismissive attachment style. okay, like avoidant. And so it perpetuates something here that isn't very good, but it also pulls to this childhood trauma and this shadow part of self that needs to be transmuted. And so I think there is more here, definitely. Like both parties know that there's more. There's something to be built, but it's like it is a lost energy when we have to navigate through the shadow of the trauma within ourselves. And so I feel like there is this looking external at that person's action, and that keeps us in perpetual sort of darkness and chaos. And so this connection was brought forward in order for there to be a plunge into the subconscious of self, so that those trauma triggers, ways of being, can be looked at and healed and transmuted once and for all. Because I feel like these are deep wounds that might have come like previous even to this lifetime, because energy does not really ever die. It just gets transmuted and shape. The energy's formation sort of changes as it goes through and transforms into different sort of states. Okay, and so the energy here, I feel, is one that's needing to be cycled through in a healthy way rather than suppressed or not seen. So there's a need to allow the energy to come out through like observation mode, and then to be able to do what it takes to transmute and heal that energy rather than perpetuate in a state of keeping it alive, keeping the trauma alive. And so when we're focused externally on what the other person is doing, it doesn't allow us to transmute and deal with the trauma and the energy here. So because I'm getting two energies, I feel like Spirit is showing the main issue here is between both parties, but one party is sort of hurting in a way that they know their way is not loving, but the pain and the shadow is driving the agenda by remaining very heavy and fixed and feeling like that is the way that they can get love. And so I don't see that there was any healing done here. It's like doubling down and leaning into this sort of behavior. And the other person is sort of completely in some energy that feels completely like at the victim or at the mercy of the other person. And so there is this fantasy that we could create something healthy here, because both parties feel this deep love and this desire and this need, and it does stem from a place of love. And the true place in which we're needing to heal and develop is felt, and it has to be intense and it has to be real in order for these two people to feel the desire and the passion to learn this journey and this lesson. Because if it was watered down and it wasn't real, then neither party would be forced to take a look at this. And so why I say forced is because the desire to get through the challenge that they feel, because neither party feels good about what they're doing, you know, and the desire to come together in a way here and be loved for who they are is everyone's birthright. And so if I have to be loved being someone I'm not, by projecting my trauma, like being more needy or giving of myself more, or like in this state and that's the only way I'm loved, then I'll never feel loved, because I'm always living in that state, which isn't my true self. I should just be my true self and be loved and accepted, and now I feel like I'm valued. But the more I keep up the charade of having to please and bend on my boundaries, then I just, even if this person loves me, they're only loving a version of myself that I'm putting out there that's not really me. And the other person is also putting out a version of them, like this forceful way that I'm really not, that I will have my way or force my way in some way here in order to be loved. So I feel like this person is very sort of selfish, sort of taking what they want and keeping what they want, and it's an imbalance. And so they show up here and acts out in however they need to, and to test to see if they're still loved. Am I still loved if I treat you poorly? Am I still loved if I abandon you? Am I still loved if you can't depend on me? If I'm not reliable? If I make you feel threatened? Do you still love me unconditionally? Because both parties want to be loved unconditionally. But the reflection of how they're showing up in this connection is not their truest self. So they can't be loved for who they truly are as long as they have that mask. So I feel like this connection is one of seeing things completely different than the way these two people are engaged. And that means, again, plunging into the subconscious and looking at the own shadow and seeing ourselves from all these different sort of devil's advocates questions, like not necessarily assuming that we're right about anything, but what is this condition and what is this that I'm doing right here? Like, just because we give more doesn't mean we're doing something right and that we're loving because we're giving more. Why? What's the intention behind the giving more? It's really the intention, and so if we don't know our intention, then we're lying to self. And so I think one person's intention is to give and sacrifice themselves in a way which becomes resentment and creates the unequal partnership. And the other person, is like a self-fulfilling prophecy, because I'll push people away to the point where I'm just not easy to get along with. People just hate me because I just force my way to that, where everyone just gets irritated with me to see if I'm still lovable. Okay, but I think there is a soul contract, a karmic thing, or an understanding that needs to be overcome here. And this is why this connection feels very strong, and it is one that's a lesson in self-discovery, healing, understanding oneself, seeing differently how we engage, healing ancestral wounds, things that we've carried for some time, and really maybe seeing what it's like to be unconditionally loved for the first time, but finding it within ourselves. Because I think what both of these people are attributing to love is not healthy, but it's stemmed from what they've experienced in the past, which obviously is full of trauma. So there's a need to overcome and a need to see how love is different. So I think this is giving an idea of the connection. Let's pull the tarot then and see. I don't know whose perspective this is coming from, but that seemed like it was pretty objective from the oracle. So we're looking now then at pile number one's person. And how is it that pile one's person is perceiving the biggest challenge here with pile one? So if pile one is the giver and their person is this rebel energy, then 10 swords. Let's keep going. Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number one and this connection that pile one came here about. Does pile one need to know about their person's perspective, the person they came here about, and what this person thinks is the biggest challenge getting in the way of pile one and this person? Clear and concise message. So we have 10 swords, King of Cups, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, Son of Pentacles, which is the Knight of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords. Why is the Father of Cups here, Spirit? 9 swords and the 9 cups. And 5 pentacles, and then the Lovers in reverse, which is Gemini, and under that we have 10 wands. in reverse. Okay. So maybe this is just helping you in your connection here, okay? Because I feel like Spirit is really showing. This is a connection that is destined. It's geese mate for life, okay? So this could be a lifetime partnership connection that isn't aligned right now. And it's not happening right now until we put certain things behind us and close out certain things, okay? So I feel like both people are being asked to surrender here. And specifically, both people are mirroring each other. And so the biggest challenge here is both of you guys are doing the same thing. So both of you guys are seeing the shadow in each of each other. And so that is the biggest challenge trigger, is like, I'm seeing all of these things in this person I do not feel comfortable with at all because I'm suppressing it within myself. And so the rebel person is outwardly sort of acting in a way, you know, and you, I say, because I feel like you are the other person, but you got to determine who you are. And then the person who is like, has no boundaries, or who's like endlessly sort of flowing the cup, is doing this sort of act of loving this person unconditionally. However, it's just an act, but behind it, the intention's not there. And so both parties see the shadow in the other person because it's a suppressed version of themselves. And so that is the challenge that each of these people are seeing in the other, but feel it is the other person that's the challenge. But it's equal and it's mirrored. So it comes down to, I have feelings of love here, and I have a lot of anxiety about how this love is coming out, because if I just let my love come out, I don't have a healthy way of understanding how I'm supposed to move forward with this love. And so I act in all sorts of ways, either overgive, or I act like a rebel, or I just do what it is that I'm doing that's unhealthy, because I don't know how to engage with these emotions in a healthy way. And so there's a lot of anxiety about not being loved back or not being accepted for the way that I love. And so therefore it manifests in these unhealthy ways. So Spirit is showing there needs to be an end of that cycle. But between these two people, they need to end the way that they're engaging and embrace authenticity, become honest with their intentions, become honest with their communication, become honest with what they're actually feeling, despite anxieties or fears, because there's a fear of surrender and there's a fear of allowing the truth to come out and not being loved. And so deep down, no matter how much is happening on the surface, neither party are going to be emotionally fulfilled. Because like I said during the oracles, if we act in a way that's not authentic and we're accepted, we still don't feel fully loved and accepted because we're not being ourselves. And if we act a fool and push people away, which isn't our authentic way, but we're really just wanting to be loved this way, we'll keep that energy alive and push people to the limit, like a self-fulfilling prophecy, and then we will never be happy, because no one is going to stick around somebody in that constant state of sabotage, because it's not till I get only to a certain threshold and then I stop acting like this. It's like, until I heal this wound, I'm going to keep pushing people out, you know, however I do so. Maybe my bully behaviors, or my lack of communication, or my forcing my way. It's like, whatever my disability is, my handicap in sharing my emotions comes out, the other person's going to respond, because they're responding to my outward projection. They're not responding to my 5D high self, you know. And so both people now are responding to each other's sort of 3D selves. And so there's this like loop I feel here, you know, it's like a feedback loop of being emotionally unsatisfied. And so we're in the 5 pentacle state, which is the victim mentality, the lack mindset, feeling out in the cold. and we will feel out in the cold when it comes to our emotions. We will feel like the other person isn't accepting or wanting. And so the person who's overgiving thinks, well, I'm overgiving, so why does this person feel emotionally not fulfilled? They do, because the place in which you're giving is really the part that they sense and feel, which is the intention there is really self-serving. I want to be loved and accepted. And I'm doing it at the sacrifice of my own sort of actual truthful energy. Because the truthful energy is I am whole and complete, and I don't put up with energy here that tries to bully me or coerce me or do anything here that isn't based in authenticity and love. And so I wish it well, but I don't overgive, or I don't, turn into something here that gives me nothing but anxiety, because I feel like both parties, like I said, there's a destined love. There's something very deep here that both parties know, and it has to exist. Or is it this poet? Okay. So I feel there's an understanding, there's a connecting to the deepness here that is love, that is this thing that needs to drive these people to make change, to take a look at themselves. And so I feel like both parties are experiencing a manifestation of what it is that they're creating. And so I think these people that I'm reading here are most likely experiencing separation on either a regular basis or currently separated, or cannot come together until this is sort of healed and looked at. It's like we have to put an end to some sort of understanding here, some form of behaving that is codependent, that is upkeeping some trauma, and it's kept alive by both parties sort of externally projecting onto the other person where the issue is, rather than seeing whatever issue I see out there is actually the one that's within me. And now I could do something about this. Now I can end the cycle, or end that way in which I'm connecting. So if I'm consciously aware that I'm being kind of this rebel without a cause, and I'm really just sabotaging connections and pushing people to their limit without stop, it's coming from a wounded place that I want to be loved and accepted, no matter if I'm being a brat, But it's like you don't have to be in that energy. So 8 swords have to come out of limiting beliefs. And so I feel like with this chrysalis and this 10 swords, it's like there's a separation, incubation period of both parties in order to change how they see themselves and their perspectives, diving into their subconscious in order to free themselves out of their own limiting thoughts. Because the limiting thought of self is what gets in the way of two people coming together. So there's separation, there's tension, there's a need to surrender. Okay, so let's just see final words, then whatever Spirit wants to tell you, because I feel like this was coming from two people's perspectives of what they think the problem is. And really the problem is both people are exactly doing to each other the thing in which they don't like, with the lovers and those two geese that are being mirrored back. Okay, so the more unhappy we are with that other person, that means we're engaged in a way that's also sabotaging, but it could be the flip, because it's a mirror. Okay, whatever that person is doing is what I'm suppressing. And maybe that's why we're drawn to that person. I'm suppressing a part of myself that I don't allow to come out, and therefore I just seek it in other people. And so because I find that in which I think I'm lacking in you, I'm going to be drawn to you. But it also triggers me. So I don't know whether I love you or hate you, because I'm triggered, but I love you. Because the heart knows the truth, which is love. The heart doesn't get triggered. The trauma gets triggered. And so now we're at odds. We have a heart that wants to love the truth, and a mind that's projecting all sorts of illusions of pain and trauma that needs to be healed. And so I love you, I hate you, but I can't be with you because you trigger me and my trauma and my pain that I'm either not looking at because I don't know, or because I'm suppressing and resisting and avoiding. Okay, but either which way, it needs to be looked at if we want to heal this connection. So what do we have? We have the 7 cups. I don't read bottom of the deck reverse, and we have Judgment in reverse. So we're all full of confusion. We can't choose or see clearly. Okay, but like I said, the fantasy, the love, the poet, like it's like I can feel the soul connection and have this fantasy understanding because my heart knows and feels a greater truth, but my 3D world is all cloudy and foggy and I don't know left from right and I'm stuck in this chaos because all I see is the shadow of the trauma. So I'm not seeing clearly and I don't understand right now. 6 swords, I need to get out of the sabotage. So when we're in 5 swords, it's us and the people around us cannot work together. It's not cohesive because my engagement is threatening, or my engagement is self-serving, or my engagement is winning at all costs. So if I have a trauma I need to protect, I lash out, you know, or if I have a trauma that I have within me, like the person here who's overgiving, then my intention here is to sabotage this by martyring myself in some way here. But either which way, it's a 5 swords energy. And so we need to move out of this 5 swords energy. Here's the I surrender, and now I come in totally vulnerable. And so both parties fear coming in vulnerable. Both of them. Because remember, the shadow here was, I can only be loved if I do this, that, and the other. And no, that's not true. You could be loved for being vulnerable and just yourself. But if we've never been just ourselves, or if we have been just ourselves and we were rejected, and then we learn to cope. And one person pushes inwards and the other one pushes outwards, which is, I'm going to give more. And the other person's like, I'm going to just, you know, misbehave. So either which way, they're not being authentic, genuine, and love for who they are. The 4 Pentacles, the comfort zone, the need to not be held back, to allow oneself to let go of the version of themselves that makes them feel safe. Because to surrender is scary, because we don't know whether we'd be loved for just being ourselves, but we would. That's the joy of it, is that we would, and then it'd be a true 9 cups. But until we experience that, we hang on to the version of ourselves that we created out of a protection mode. Okay, and there's the Mother of Pentacles, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn energy, the Page of Wands, the 3 swords in reverse, and the Page of Swords. Okay, so what this is telling me is this. Both parties need to explore the value of themselves. Their own self, okay, is the only person who could dictate the value of their own self-worth. Nobody else can dictate their own self-value. So this is a resilient, confident, capable, self-dependent energy, the Mother of Pentacles. Single mom energy. I don't need anyone. I built it myself. I can manage myself. I know my self-worth, and I get her done because I figured out a way. And this is loving, compassionate, and a queen that's able to manifest. Okay, there's nothing stopping her. And so we see this mother and this child. Okay, so one, I think this is like parent-child type of connection, because one seems like an immature rebel and the other one's like, you know, trying to love unconditionally in some way. But this is really about what is the intention, because the mother doesn't, you know, like a child who's unruly, let it just unrule and become a bully without being truthful, without, you know, laying the rules for the child because it's healthy. It's not going to let it eat candy before bed and jump on the bed and beat up kids. Like there's rules here, okay, boundaries, but it's really a loving truth that comes through with the best of intention, because the parent's love is unconditional. And so I feel like we're learning about unconditional love, okay, unconditional love here, and being self-reliant and our own self-value. And I feel like both parties are being asked to explore their own self-value, their own self-worth. And so one is seeking maybe out there a parent that can tame my unruliness and still love me because it was missing or it was deficient when I was a child. And the other person might be thinking that they have to overgive in order to be loved, because as a child, they didn't get from their parent the affection without having to give more of themselves or do something that was not just being authentic. So both are learning same lessons here, and that's deep-rooted trauma that needs better understanding. And so this connection is one about wisdom. Okay, and wisdom comes through experience. Wisdom comes through going through a journey. We don't just all of a sudden get wise about something unless we inner experience and understand it. We do the shadow work. We sit in the subconscious. We become to understand ourselves. We observe ourselves. And then we have a knowing that comes not just from the mind of a concept, but from an experience that we've gone through, so we can resonate with the messaging and really dive into knowing ourselves. Okay, but I feel like there's unhealed traumas going on with both of these people that needs to get looked at, need to be understood. And so we're at the beginning stage of having to uncover what this is. And I feel like we haven't been truthful. We haven't seen the light just yet. And we're still in comfort zone. We're still not understanding what it means to be unconditionally loving. And we still don't understand what it means to value self, be self-reliant, explore the side of self, because that would require us to surrender and to come in vulnerable. And so this is scary, and this is the trauma. This is the wound. Okay, so pile number 1, this is your reading. Very deep. I hope this helped you. For some of you guys, this certainly was a very layered message, but it isn't everyone's message, okay? So don't force it to fit if it doesn't make sense. And I will see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, hello, gorgeous angels. Pile number 2. You guys picked the Tarot of Mystical Moments. I can't wait to get into your reading. We're looking at the person on your mind, this connection you came here about, and what is it that this person thinks from their perspective is the challenge between you and them. We won't get into the tarot just yet, so let's pull the oracles to see. And like I mentioned in the disclaimer, if it's your first time here, please go listen to that, because that will give you an idea of how this reading is supposed to function. And that is this person's perspective. Okay, so it might not be objective, and we're looking at the energy that pulls through here. Sometimes we get 2, meaning it's you and your person, and so you'll have to determine who is who. And I might call you your person, vice versa, so you can crisscross it as you see fit. Okay, or I might just get solely your own energy coming from what you think is the challenge here. But we'll ask Spirit for a clear and concise message for pile number 2 in regards to pile 2's person. And what is it that this person sees or thinks is the biggest challenge getting in between pile 2's person and pile 2? Thank you, Spirit, for this message. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 2. Thank you so much, pile 2, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here doing your reading. Thank you so, so much. And one of these. What is it that pile 2's person thinks is the biggest challenge? So we have 1 reveal itself, and we have hen. Okay, and when a card reveals itself, it's out of the subconscious, meaning it's conscious awareness, and potentially have a lot kind of in the surface here that's in the subconscious needing to sort of be seen or understood. Okay, but the hen is the divine feminine energy. So the hen is the protector, because the hen sits on an egg, and the hen is very patient, right? Because the hen has to sit there and sort of provide nurturing to the egg, its child. Let's see, what is this all about? So we have the beggar. Light attributes confronts empowerment at the level of physical survival, awakens the spiritual authority of humility, compassion, and self-esteem. Shadow attribute, dependence on others to the exclusion of efforts. And we see a theme going on here, somewhat. And we have the Earth's Heart, number 52, or the number 7. And we have the pigeon. So pigeons, homecoming pigeons, when you cover them up, they can find their way back to wherever you sort of pulled them from and navigate their way back, because they know how to come back home. There's like a guidance system here. Pigeons are also sometimes like unwanted, you know, like pigeons are annoyances sometimes, like when we don't want them to crap all over our building or a car or business, and they just sort of are there shitting around. The river, this came out for pile 1, 34, or the number 7. So now we have 2 7s. 7's a master number. That's trust the fall, an adventure that arises from deep wisdom. Trust life, trust of self. 7 is the number of faith, wisdom, reflection, understanding. It's also chariot energy. The mountain, this came out for pile 1 as well. Interesting. 33. 33 is a master number. Reproduction, creativity, humor, Christ consciousness, joy, harmony. And we have the desert. 37, or the number 10. Okay, and then we have Father. Talent for creating and supporting life, positive, guiding light within a tribal unit. Shadow attributes, dictatorial control, abuse of authority. And Lover. Light attributes, great passion and devotion, unbridled appreciation of someone or something. Shadow attributes, obsessive passion that harms others, self-destructive devotion. Okie dokie. So, this could be your energy. Like I said, you can crisscross it as you see fit. If this is you or your person, attribute who is what. This person's point of view. There's a big challenge here and a big obstacle. Okay, and the obstacle here is that you are somebody here who is kind of taking advantage of this person's kindness in some way here. That there is an ability for you to become, I do feel it's flipped, you guys, but anyway, you to become someone who's more of a capable person who can step into an emperor sort of energy with this Father. Okay, like be more in your power rather than leaning on this person, because I feel like there's a dependency on this person and that you know that this person has a deep love here. And so it's borderline this obsessive energy here that this person has, a great devotion and appreciation for you as an individual, but this person feels like there is a lack of appreciation, or there's a lack of seeing what this person maybe is giving in way of love and compassion and patience and nurturance. And there's more of a taking energy and then shitting on them, you know, with however you're responding or whatever you're putting out. Okay, but it's not like, I don't feel there's an anger here. I feel like there's more of there's a deep love, and there's a deep, real home energy here that we're returning to, which is authenticity, love, compassion, that we both could experience. That's the realness. That's the core of this connection. And so this person understands that there's a core of home and real and love and devotion and compassion that isn't destructive, but that there's a shadow within you. That's the big old obstacle that you guys need to get through. And it's like there's a better version of you that knows better, that could be better, that could do better, but is lacking the resources here. And that you're either going through a shadow death, or I should say an ego death, and that you lack something here, that you feel you're lacking, or that you're sort of incapable for whatever reason because you haven't shown it. And so you're not, it's like you have no resources around you, and also you're sort of touched maybe with your emotions, or this person feels emotionally starved, or that you're emotionally starved. But I feel like more you aren't capable of being in tune with your emotions. And so the resource missing here is expressing love and like appreciation for this person. And there's a taking energy here. Like, I will take what I need for substance. I will take what I need so I feel loved, or I will take energy from you in a way here, but I take it in a way here that isn't mean, so the person doesn't think you're just coming here taking it, but it's like a beggar energy here, because it is how I do act is like I'm incapable. And so therefore this person with love, it's like, well, of course I'm not just going to walk by someone who is incapable or who's hungry. I'm going to give them $1 or give them some food. But, you know, year 1, year 2, year 3, you keep giving that same person and they're not getting a job. It's like this beggar energy is like, there is a capability here for us to now transcend past this energy. So how long are we in this, I don't have the resources to show love or to express myself or to tap into my emotions? And so they understand that there's a shadow part of self here, and the shadow part does deal with how you engage with your emotions, because there's either a very like removal and you're very disconnected, and so you can't express it or experience it in a way that connects you to it, so therefore it's missing from this connection. And you have maybe a way that is very traumatic here when you do experience maybe emotions that you're unhealthily sort of navigating and you don't know how to. So it's like you could do more. Dependence on others with exclusion of effort. It's like there's more that you're capable of being and doing. But are you choosing to do that? Or are you just relying on me because you know that I love you, and in some way here that I would devote myself from this heart space because I feel very connected to you, and that we could find our way. Because I feel this person understands that you could find your way to this true core version of yourself, because they see your highest self. They see this divine masculine, this father energy. You know, the father never comes inside and says, family, I can't, you know, like protect you from the wild thing out there. You guys go out there. I'm going to go hide or sleep, or I can't. Or I don't want to go out there. You go out there, wife, and see, you know, if there's a robber. Like what? Like that's kind of role reversed. And I don't care if I'm stereotyping. We all have roles, okay? And the divine masculine here is the protector. The divine masculine here is the empowered masculine energy that brings order, that brings like authority and order here through his ability to not lean into fear, to not be telling himself that he's incapable, and he's very healthy when it comes to expressing emotions and being in that energy without feeling awkward in any way here. You know, like here you see a father and a child, so it's very healthy for him to express unconditional love, just like we saw in round 1 or pile 1. There was a mother and a child. Now we're seeing father and a child. And so I feel like the father and child is communicating the exact same thing. Unconditional love is unconditional love. Doesn't matter if you're masculine or feminine, how we would love a child. And so you're sort of unhealthy when it comes to unconditional love, you know, and tapping into this more masculine energy from a healthy aspect, because it's not in your vocabulary or in your tool belt. And so I don't know that there's also an energy here of you maybe, again, the timing. It feels like there's been a long time or a lot of patience here working with you as you sort of die out of this energy in some way, you know, but that there is fears here, and that it's been a very fixed sort of energy, and that there's a need to work through, drill through this version of you or this stuck energy in order to overcome, find a way, you know. But the annoyance here, because I feel like the pigeon is acting in a way here, and it's like it's stuck because you can't get the pigeon to go shit somewhere else, and so you keep shitting. This is so mean, but this is how it's coming through, okay? I think it's how you feel about your person, really. But it's like this pigeon keeps fucking shitting here. and as long as it keeps shitting here, it's not focused on what it needs to do. Fly home, the core of the matter, this true love here, because it's wasting its time shitting, you know, like yeah, of course it still needs to shit, but it's like hanging out someplace and like wasting time doing something that's not helping a situation. And it's sort of just hanging out because it knows that it could shit on that thing, and it knows that money's going to come like the beggar. So it knows to sit in that corner. So the challenge here is this person thinks you understand something about this connection that helps you in some way, nurtures you in some way, but that it might be borderline taking advantage of this person's love and kindness and devotion to you at the expense of this person feeling like you're emotionally shutting them out, or you're not connected to your emotions and have a lot of trauma that you need to deal with and look at and navigate through, no matter how challenging, rather than avoid and just deal with the shit things that are easy to do, maybe, you know, like pigeon shit easily, kind of. And it's like someone else's problem. Someone else has to clean that up. We don't look at it. The pigeon's not cleaning its own shit, but it's making a mess. I'm really hung up on this pigeon shit. Okay? And so the hen is divine feminine. So there's a deficiency here in you potentially tapping into the divine feminine nature of the father, because the father is balanced when it comes to feminine and masculine. He's able to receive and give love, and he's still able to be agreeable, but he could stand up and also be in this more in charge masculine energy. But there's a healthy feminine energy that you're disconnected from, and that comes with the emotions, because emotions are tied to the feminine, you know. So you're unhealthily dealing with emotions, your feminine side. You're maybe incapable of receiving love or giving love, and then there's a need for you to ascend and to come home to yourself, to what really matters here. And this rose is talking about romance and love. So I feel like at the core of what this person values or sees in this connection is this love energy that radiates, I don't know, that this connection is giving off. And that's the truth, the core of the matter. But there's all of this stuff, and all of this stuff that they're seeing as having to break through is all of the boundaries or all of the things that you have in the way. And there's a thick wall here. And this thick wall feels like navigating this desert. And so this person might be like, you know, going through a test of endurance without love and without emotions, and is getting thirsty and is dying out here. And a cup of coffee here. I think this person is running out of steam to keep sort of on this egg and give you life and substance, you know, like they're incubating your potential here for you. That's kind of how it is coming through. Okay, so now let's pull the tarot and see what pulls through. Spirit, clear and concise message here for pile number 2 in regards to this connection that I'm tapped into. Pile 2, and how does pile 2's person see the biggest challenge here with pile 2? How's pile 2's person seeing the biggest challenge between pile 2's person and pile 2? What do they think is the biggest obstacle, challenge, hindrance in this connection progressing, evolving, working out? So we have the Hermit in reverse, Virgo energy. And then we have the Four of Cups, the Star, Aquarius energy, King of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, 10 Swords in reverse, Ace of Swords in reverse, 9 of Cups, and the Ace of Wands. And bottom of the deck, Page of Cups. And under the Page Cups, we have Lovers. So Gemini energy. Okay, let me sit here with this one. Okay, wow, very clear. So, the homecoming pigeon, and interesting, it looks like a blue jay, but it's sort of a little bird too. That shit's all over the place. I'm so sorry. Shit just means, you know, it's like, anyway, whatever. Linda, focus. So, the Lovers here. There's a destined relationship. this person definitely, I'm still tapped into the way I was reading it, okay? Which I still feel is flipped, but read it the way you want it, or take it in how you want it. So the destined relationship, it's a partnership here that this person undoubtedly knows this is destined, okay? And that's that homecoming. Is like there's a path here, there's a choice here to be made, to go down this path, to choose each other in order to come together in this beautiful, blissful, peaceful way here. Lots of blue, which means expressing authenticity. Blue is the throat chakra. And so the throat chakra, when we have a lot of blocks in our chakra system, it doesn't allow there to be authentic expression. Feelings, expressing what we truly want and feel becomes a challenge. And so what is this person saying here? This person is saying, I feel there's a lot of rejection happening here in this connection. I experience rejection, and you might experience rejection as well as a result of you not understanding yourself, or taking the time to really go within yourself, to spiritually sit with an understanding of yourself, to dive into the reasoning why we're having a difficult time seeing a great truth of ourselves, why we're incapable of taking action or expressing or seeing something in a truthful way. So we maintain the version of us that creates rejection, and we are guarded, or we're protective of this version of ourselves to create some form of protection. So we're not seen, or so we don't become vulnerable. We upkeep this. But when we upkeep that version of ourselves that doesn't connect to ourselves authentically, we create rejection for the other person, them. And this needs to come to an end. And instead of it coming to an end, we're keeping this version of ourselves alive without ending it. And so there's a healing that needs to happen. And there's also an understanding, again, of this destined partnership, that when the healing happens, I see a version of us in the future that we could be. That's the Earth's core, whatever that was called. What was it called? This thing, sorry. For the love. What is it? Earth's heart. Okay, the Earth's heart can only be achieved when again, like I said, piercing through all this, okay, the inauthenticity, the fact that you haven't sat and known themselves, the fact that now we're feeling all rejected because of this protective umbrella, which is this core that you're upkeeping. And so as you go through that desert process that you're doing, person here, maybe the ego death, or, you know, when you can no longer be in this because you're starved completely, and we sat here too long, then you're going to have to reflect or know yourself. Then there's healing. Then we can look at this future, you know, and then we could be happy here. And then I could be happy with 9 cups, because 9 cups is all about personal happiness. But it's like, I know you're not happy in this energy, and neither am I, because I feel rejected by you. And so we're not in a 9 cups. We're not happy experiencing what we are. And so we need to heal this part of ourselves in this connection. And the only way for this to reach that state is by you being confident. And that's the Father energy with the King of Wands. The King of Wands is very, very confident in making things happen. He doesn't back down. There is no fear. And he will express, show, do whatever it takes to win. He doesn't suppress, hold out, shit all over the place. Well, he'll shit all over the place if that means winning. But there's a vision, there's a strategy, there's a confidence, and there's going to be achieving. Okay? And so this person feels like you're held back when it comes to pursuing a confident energy to achieve the lover's path, and you're holding this out, or not following or pursuing this connection in a way that's showing the truth of what you want, or what's authentically you. And so this person is saying, well, the only way we can do this is by opening our heart space, and by trusting this innocence of allowing ourselves to feel this early stage of love. And it's innocent, and it's not restricted, and it's putting ourselves out here, because the page is the first stage. It isn't hindered, it isn't tainted. It's the beginning stage of opening your heart. And so I feel like the cup's coming back again, because remember the cup I was telling you guys I was seeing here? I was drawn to it. It looks almost the same. Some of you guys might be a coffee drinker, okay? Or like a lot of tea, or like a lot of coffee, or be a coffee barista or something here. But I feel like this is really indicative of something to do with emotions being available, you know, like available to share, available to be gifted, available to be expressed and given. And so this person is saying, you're going to have to be confident and heal something about your ability to show up emotionally and offer yourself emotionally here in an innocent way that's not held back, that's not tainted, that's not anything other than being authentically yourself. But you only get there when you see yourself. You'll only get there when you release and close out a version of yourself here that you're believing that's hindering you and making me feel rejected, and also making you feel rejected. But you have to keep that, okay? So lots of repeat there, but yeah, there needs to be a transformation. And the death is a spiritual transformation. Okay, this is like the end of something. And it was in reverse, so it's like a circumstance that needs to end. But this is like a change that needs to happen spiritually, and something major that needs to be released in how we go about things, so that it doesn't contaminate the version of self that is being displayed. Like this is a permanent change and release. And so we see lilies, which is all about peace. I feel this person wants peace, and they feel that the only way that the peace is going to come is when this is realized, because right now there's a lot of rejection, and so there's undue suffering, all because of an inauthenticity and an inability to see a healthy version of self, or something that they feel you want as well for the future. There's something here you want to attain that they can see, you know, that you're destined to, but it requires you to change and transform out and do a lot of releasing here. Scorpio energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy, Aquarius energy, Virgo. And so, yeah, there's also an energy coming through here, you guys, that only for some, because I've experienced rejection, I don't know how long I can sit here. I don't know. And so I have a vision of a future that I want, that I will go after. And so if I'm in a situation where you're not pursuing, or you're not showing me interest, I have no choice but to release you, because I want peace. And so I'm in this state here that I haven't let go of this connection, but I'm working my way and releasing you in this situation, which makes me feel very rejected, because I want my own happiness, emotional happiness. That's what I want. You know, I see this for myself. And the only way I can do this is to go after it confidently, rather than deal with your egos of the pigeon who's shitting all over the place because you're inauthentic. And you hold this key. I can't force you to use that key. I can't force you to see. And so you're holding this connection hostage. The truth of this connection is being held hostage by you. And so how long am I going to sit here and be the hen over your egg? I can't. I have to release this eventually if I want to be emotionally happy. Unless I sit in the desert there, you know, drowning with you while you're shitting all over the place. I just enjoy saying shitting all over the place. So I don't know. You owe this person an apology. You're not showing up. You're not giving emotions. You're not expressing yourself. You're not being authentic. And this person sees it and is being very patient here with you. Okay? I don't feel that there's this like rush energy. I also don't feel there's an urgency. I just feel like there's a seeing right through the challenge. And the challenge is your inability to step up, and their over giving, nurturing of an energy that will eventually dry out, because they understand there's more value here in them going after something that is emotionally happy for them, not sitting here waiting and looking at poop. Okay, pile number 2. This is your reading. I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, hello, gorgeous angels. Pile number 3, Phantom Wise Tarot. I'm so excited and I can't wait to get into your reading. We're looking at the person on your mind, the connection you came here about. Before we get into the tarot, we're asking the divine, what is this person, the person you came here about, their perspective in regards to what is the biggest challenge between you and this person. Okay, and it's from their own point of view. And so sometimes it comes flipped, meaning it's your energy and what you see as the challenge. Okay, if that's the case, you can go check out another pile. But what is the biggest hindrance? It could be something about you, something about this connection specifically. But what is keeping you guys from progressing or healing or bonding in a way here that will produce the most amount of joy and satisfaction? Okay, now, like I said, it's coming from their perspective, so it may be completely out to lunch. But we're asking Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 3. Pile 3's person, and what is their perspective in regards to what the biggest hindrance, challenge is in this connection between pile 3 and pile 3's person. Do you feel there's one more here? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 3, spirits. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 3. Thank you so much, pile 3, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here doing your reading. And one of these. One more. Okay. If I get to 2 energies, it's up to you to determine who is who, okay? So we have Thief, light attributes, sheds light on the potential wealth within you that can never be stolen. Shadow attributes, stealing money, creative ideas, affection, or other powers you think you lack. Hedonist, light attributes, inspires creative energy to embrace the good things in life, celebrates the beauty in yourself. Shadow attributes, pursues pleasure to the detriment of health, indulges at the expense of others. And a beggar, this came out for pile 2. Light attributes, confronts empowerment at the level of physical survival, awakens the spiritual authority of humility, compassion, and self-esteem. Shadow attribute, dependence on others to the exclusion of efforts. And we have the nectar, 58, and the tear, 52. And number 7, or 13, which is transformation. We have ash, number 33. 33 is a master number, reproduction, creativity, humor, Christ consciousness, joy and harmony. And then we have 39, the number 12. So 12 again. No, this was 13. Yeah, 13, 12, sorry. So 13 is transformation, 12 could be hangman energy, 12 is also the number 3, which is growth, relationships. So we have fog, and then we have breath, number 36, and the number 9, and then we have the gazelle. Okay, let me sit with this energy and see what I get. I do only feel one energy here, but let me see. Very, very similar to pile 2 energy. You guys might have been drawn to that. Okay, but how your person sees you, like I said, flip it if you need. Or the biggest challenge, I guess, is what it really, the challenge they see here. So I don't know, maybe it's the challenge they see in themselves. But either which way, this is the challenge this person I'm tapped into. And what they're seeing is someone who is in a selfish energy. It's taking and keeping, and can't create on their own and generate within them. And so they're taking from the other person here life, and life is really the love and the nectar of life, which gives them substance, because they can't generate it potentially on their own. And so this person feels like I don't know if this is how they feel about themselves, okay? I gotta be honest. It could be what they think is the challenges themselves. So it's hard to channel this when I don't know how the perspective is coming from. So it might become clear near the end, okay? I might bounce around until I figure it out, but just bear with me. But this is very clear that this energy that I'm tapped into is like there is a leaning on another to provide the thing I can't generate within myself. And there is also me doing things to fill this void within me. And so it's everything out there that I could bring within me in order for me to feel whole. And so I go and put up with situations that don't really reflect me at my core, but it's filling some sort of part within me that's not healed, that's been hurt, or that's been damaged, or that I feel I can't generate anymore. And so I pull this energy from other people or things, like drinking, like drugs, like partying, like indulging in things that are not healthy. It could be I'm pulled away from society completely and overdo it, but whatever it is that I use, I'm overdoing that external thing in order to fill a void. And so I'm not quite sure anything about myself in the distance. I can't get clear or certain about it. One, I think there's a fogginess here because of all of the unhealthy things I'm using to distract. So this could really be substances. It's like I can't get clear. I can't get a clear vision of a certainty of what matters for myself. Like, I don't know, a week from now, a month from now, a year from now, I'm sort of just focused on the immediate thing that's in front of me. What's the party at 7? Or what? I just want to focus on right now, where I don't have to burden myself with anything other than the pleasures of now. And the pleasures of now I will take. And the pleasures of now will come in any form that may or may not be healthy. But the pleasures of now I need in order for me to feel okay, because I have a lot of pain within me. And so this is what keeps me alive. But relationship, I'm scared. And so I'm observing, but I'm observing from a distance. And so I only engage in the thing that feels safe, because it's something that doesn't threaten me in the way that I might have felt threatened before, or I don't know, there's a part of myself that I can't generate here. I feel like it's been gone, or it's lost in some way. And so I just observe a situation that could be with this connection from a safe distance, but I won't let you sort of come close. And there's another energy with this person but there is something here within this connection that is different, because I've now tasted something different. And the difference here isn't the same thing that I was overdoing. And what I was overdoing, thinking it was something that was filling me, but having experienced this experience of love with you, or whatever it is, energy that you've provided, or this experience with you has now ignited a part of me that's giving this new life. But I'm still hesitant here. But maybe I see it. It's caught my interest. It's ignited a part of me that wants to give a different part of me life. I still don't see how I'm going to get through this. And I'm still engaged in filling that unhealthy part of me immediately, and taking what I need in that moment, because there's a very damaged part of myself here. And so I believe I lack something, like mega. And I will continue to engage and partake in the thing that feels okay for that moment. And I feel like it's easier for me to do this. It temporarily soothes me, and it's like a scratch, an itch that I scratch. But the minute it sort of goes away, that itch is there again. There's a lot of guilt and heaviness I feel here because of this way that I am, that I see. And there's a knowing that I do this to myself. So this obviously is coming from your person's perspective because, well, unless this is you, but it's like I. You know, and there's a lot of seeing what they do that's in the way. And it's like I reach out to you because you give me something here that is different than what it is that I'm used to, but it's still filling a void within me that I think I have, and so I'm lacking, and so I take it from you. I take what I need because I can't generate it from within. And so I feel really bad about this. So I don't know, like maybe, you know, you might feel used by me, or I might make you feel like you're just giving and I'm just taking. So let's see then. For pile number 3, spirits, pile 3's person. What is it that pile 3's person is perceiving being the main challenge here between pile 3 and pile 3's person? What is this challenge? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 3. And this pile 3's person's perspective in regards to what the biggest challenge here is. Yeah, I think this person feels the biggest challenge is them. They don't see themselves in a highlight at all, you know, and it could be because they have destructive ways of engaging. And for a lot of you guys, like I said, that hedonistic energy could be substances or just distractions, avoidance, and unhealthy ways of coping in their world. And it's taking and keeping rather than being open and giving and allowing things to generate within them. It's like I'm missing something, so I just pull it from out there so I could feel whole. The Sun, the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, Leo energy. The Hermit in reverse. This came out for pile number 2 in the exact same spot. Virgo energy. The Queen of Wands in reverse. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So strong Leo. 6 Cups. And Judgment. Wow. Okay. And the 4 Wands. That's my 1111 card. It could signify twin flame. If you're on that journey, use this confirmation. And then the 9 Cups in reverse, which came out for pile 2 as well. You guys might resonate with the pile 2. It might be flipped people. Okay, how one's seeing this person and how this person's seeing this person. That's how it's coming out. But to take what resonates there. But if you were drawn to it, that would be why. Okay, one perspective, the other perspective. So what's going on here? Yeah, the Ace of Wands, that also came out. It's okay. So this is what it is. There's so much energy to unpack here. My goodness. Okay. So this is the Wheel of Fortune. Sometimes we're up, sometimes we're down. It's working with the universe in order to flow and let things move. I think things have been very, very cyclical here. Very, very cyclical, because this person is saying, I haven't pursued what I'm passionately pulled to and allowed it to flow naturally here. And so there is a joy. There is a joy. But I have to allow myself to see clearly and allow myself to move towards this. But I've been resisting or suppressing the way of the universe. And so this has kept us in spirals or circles and cyclical behavior of mine. And so I'm working on some understanding of attaining some clear, enlightened perspective of something here. And I know that this is the only way for me to be able to move forward, or for this connection to move forward. But I haven't been very clear, because I haven't really been able to sit with myself in the way that connects to that part of understanding. And so, one, I'm inauthentic with how I'm engaged in this connection, because I am being held back, or not allowing myself to pursue the direction that I want, that I'm fired up about, which results in me not showing up in a way here that respects you, or values you, or shows you the appreciation you deserve. And so I don't feel like I'm at your level. And so there is a lot of judgment when it comes to how I'm perceiving this situation, that stemmed from an experience. And the experience here could be one that is generating me engaging in the way that I engage, that hedonistic way. You know, an experience as I was a child, or an experience here that makes me feel like I have to do what I gotta do here. And so there's a need for me to connect what has happened to me as a child and in the past, that I know and understand and can see, but connect it back to myself. So this person is disconnected from like integrating the experience that they had, the memories that made them who they are. Their understanding of all this, I think, is one thing, but they sit there in judgment rather than taking it back into self, so that they can sit with a greater truth of understanding, which is that they are not their past experience, they are not their trauma. And I feel like this person is very judgmental of who they have to be, or who they are, based on their upbringing. There's also, with that nectar and the 6 cups, it's like a very close to home feeling they have here in your presence. It reminds me of something here that I have to understand better, you know, like a genuine, innocent love of a lost lover of the past. And it makes me sit with some understanding of feeling like I gotta bring justice, and I gotta balance my understanding of what relationship means. Because I think this breath is them wanting to give life to a version of themselves that maybe was abandoned or stunted at an early age here. So there's this sitting with this and looking at this, but I feel like it hasn't been fully brought into the self or the full understanding. And so there's this inner knowing or understanding of when things do move or go towards where they're supposed to with the universe, it is developing stability. It is coming together. It is union, celebration, marriage. But in order to do this, I have to connect to something of myself, which I haven't been able to connect to just yet. And so it results in the hedonistic 9 cups in reverse, overindulgence of the thing that sabotages me and keeps me sort of not in my authenticity, and I can't respect or value you in the way that you deserve. The King of Pentacles in reverse. So I'm not reliable. The future is at risk here because there's some form of reliability missing, or a fact that I can't be committed on to create the stability you need, or be dependable enough to show your appreciation or that you're valued. Because I am in this energy of self-focus on the immediate gratification, but it doesn't make me emotionally happy. And so what is this, spirits? Because I feel like the 6 of Cups talks about soulmates, it talks about soul recognition, it talks about childhood, memories of the past. Judgment is a realization, it's karma. It's like healing some sort of karmic experience of the past. But what is this, Spirit? Why do we have the Six of Cups with this Judgment here for pile number 3's person? Nine of Pentacles in reverse. And then the Page of Swords. And under that we have the Six of Pentacles in reverse. So, Pentacles, Pentacles. And then the Page of Swords. So, your person has an understanding here. And it's not necessarily true. Okay, that I think they're trying to come to some understanding, but there's a lot of judgment. It's also, I think, a karmic lesson and something they're having to overcome. And it's really a lesson within themselves. Nothing to do with your value, your self-worth or whatever. But what they believe is that I don't have what it takes. And so therefore, this core belief that I developed as a child that makes me feel not confident in my ability to contribute because I don't have anything to contribute because my self-worth is low, keeps me in immediate gratification of the thing that I do to sabotage myself. And so I'm not emotionally happy and I depend on that world that I've created. And so my sense of stability, my sense of confidence, me standing strong and tall and able on my own is compromised because of this thing of the past here. And so I can't give to you in an equal measure. And the pentacle realm that I need in order to be of substance for you, in order to value you, is not here. And it's not here because I'm lacking this. I feel I'm lacking, missing. And so therefore, that's my understanding of how I see this situation in myself. But I haven't done the soul searching and the soul work in order to get enlightened to see the truth, really. And so I sit unhappy here, dependent on that way of thinking, because I'm really carrying this judgment rather than sitting with the divine and becoming enlightened to a greater truth and taking what has happened inwards for me to reconcile these feelings so that I don't just go and become like in that energy where I'm just distracting myself in the immediate gratification that I do here, which is very selfish. So let's do then a final here for pile number 3 then, because maybe pile 3 needs advice. So it sounds like their person is pulling through here with the challenge. So for the viewer then, pile 3's reading here, Spirit, what does pile 3 need to know? Anything I've missed, guidance, advice, anything else, anything I've missed, any questions they might still have in regards to this connection. Chariot in reverse. I need to integrate shadow. I need to let the universe guide. A need for ascension. Things are stuck. Things are imbalanced. Things definitely need, the shadows need to be integrated. 3 of Cups. Someone's indulging in drinking, over partying, or removing themselves. Like I said, it could be hermit energy, or they're isolated. But it's the immediate fix I have instead of the ascension, instead of integrating shadow, letting things move, winning, being balanced. The Knight of Cups in reverse. So there's a withheld energy of emotions and inability to give and receive love. So it's stunted here. And it's imbalanced. There's the Queen of Swords. This is getting clear. Wisdom. Queen of Swords is Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Strength in reverse. That's Leo energy. The Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. And the 6 of Cups coming out again. And the 4 of Cups and the 8 Swords. Okay. So what's Spirit saying? There's rejection here. And the person here who doesn't feel worthy is in this 3 Cups energy. But it's not healthy. It's not healthy at all. They're overdoing some form of something here. Either over partying or removing themselves socially completely till they're like hermit mode. Or over drinking. And that energy is hedonistic at the expense of this 1 cup here, which is being offered to them because of a mindset that they're needing to break out of. Okay, the only way that this is going to happen is through way of ascension, integration of shadow, allowing themselves to move. So Spirit is showing that there is a need to become honest, a need to be clear, a need to learn from experience here. And so we need to be sort of clear when it comes to boundaries and our understanding of what's going on. And so as this person potentially can't find it within themselves, the courage within themselves, the strength within themselves, or is maybe very held back from moving towards this connection, and become dependent on that version of themselves, so they lean into this, maybe they double down, that there is a need here for you, if you're on the flip side person, to become very clear with your boundaries, that your value is not dictated here by this person's energy of rejecting you, and see only that their rejection here is based on their own mental limitation. And so regardless if there's like a soul recognition here, or there's an innocent or a genuine love, this person, as long as they're in this energy, they're incapable of showing emotionally here how they feel, expressing to them and showing up. And so there will be this rejection. So the only way to break out of this is to have boundaries, to become clear yourself, not to stay in cognitive dissonance, to speak a truth, and to get out of any 8 swords that you might be in. Because I feel like your 8 swords could be thinking that your value depends on this person, whether they're capable of, communicating their truth or showing to you, or, if they're held back and not passionately sort of moving towards you, then they're rejecting you because you're not worthy. And so you feel this connection or the soul recognition to this person, but there's a lot of held back energy. So Spirit's saying the only way you're going to move through this journey is through a form of ascension yourself. Okay, so this is how we're going to be victorious. So if we feel any way other than bliss, if we're feeling rejected, sad, left out, separated, not wanted, or like this person is not making us feel very good, or self-worth hinders on this person, allow ourselves to recognize that feeling. Don't resist that feeling. It's coming through. It's not true. You have to flush this out of your sort of energy zone in order to release you of this understanding. But we have to feel it in order for it to be integrated, so that we go through the process of ascension organically. We can't just turn on the surrender. We can't just turn on an understanding and believe it automatically. We know logically our value isn't dependent on a person. We know logically that there is our own energy, separate from what this person's trauma is, that's not dependent on this person's trauma. But inside of ourselves, which is also stemmed potentially at childhood, there's an untruth, and it keeps us stuck from not allowing ourselves to ascend or move or have success with this person even. Because remember, energy is very intertwined. And so when we move, if we have a soul connection, it allows the soul connection to move as well. So this person could be stuck here with that wheel of fortune with the spirals, because we're stuck. And we're stuck because we have an untruth that we're hanging on to. And so through our experience of seeing a greater truth of who we are, what we're deserving of, that we're really our value, organically, then we start to ascend, and we start to integrate and transmute shadow energy so that we can move forward and ascend. But we're stuck, connection stuck, we're not seeing success. Okay, so we need to accept what we see today as how we feel, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's the truth. And then we need to work on the truth as it comes out. And so surrender is a process. We want to surrender. We see it out there as something that we want to do, but it doesn't just fall on our lap and happen because we believe it to be a thing that we need to do. We have to believe in the surrender. We have to believe in the understanding we have of the truth, the inner feeling of what it is. I really am valuable here, regardless of how this person acts. But if I feel a certain way because this person's rejecting me, I can't deny that I feel this way. I got to allow myself to feel. And then I have to work every day on seeing something clearly. This is the journey. This is my experience. This Queen of Wands makes decisions based on experience, wisdom. And so I feel like we're going through this journey of ascension, this journey of experience, this journey of integration of shadow in order to free us from a limiting thought. And the limiting thought is I'm not worthy, or I'm not going to be good enough when you keep rejecting me, or when I put my love out there and you're not expressive, or you choose the drink, or you choose to avoid me, or you choose to, yeah, like be cowardly. You choose yourself, you choose whatever. And so this is bringing back some childhood pain. Okay, pile number 3, you got to work on your self-value. This person's not going to dictate. This person has traumas, and the only way for you to move with this person is for you to move yourself, for you to ascend. And don't be hard on yourself with that judgment. You might be reflecting judgment of self. And so allow yourself to embrace where you're at, but know that whatever understanding you have is based on some conditioned belief that your worth is dependent on whether this person values you or not, or that you can only depend on this connection to be successful in order for you to be happy in some way, because that's not true. Okay, but you might conceptually know it, but you have to inner experience that. Pile number 3. So that's your reading. I hope this helps you, and I will see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, beautiful, gorgeous angels. Pile number 4, you guys picked the Unseen World Tarot. And we're looking at the person on your mind, the person you came here about, and what is their perspective in regards to what is the most challenging thing right now in the connection between you and this person. So it could be something about you that's challenging, or just something about the connection, or something about themselves. I don't know what this person's perspective is, but we'll see. Okay, and it could be completely skewed because, again, it's coming from their perspective, so it is not objective. It's just their perceived reality of what's going on. Okay, so let's take a look. It could be flipped. There could be multiple energies. It's up to you to determine who is who. I might say it's you and it's your person, vice versa. You can attribute who is what, and I will read it how it sort of comes out for me to be able to channel it accordingly. Okay, so clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of beautiful pile number 4. I don't know if I said pile 3. Pile 4. Pile 4's person. What is their perception in regards to what is the challenge here in this connection between pile 4 and this person from the pile 4's person's perspective? What is the biggest challenge? What is getting in the way of this connection? Spirit's clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 4. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 4. Thank you so much, pile 4, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here doing your reading. We have the child wounded. We have the Don Juan, the servant, and the warrior. We'll read these shortly. One more. Pile 4's person and their perception of what is the biggest challenge in this connection between pile 4 and this person from their perspective. Okay, wow. So, Don Juan, light attributes. Spotlights your positive seductive qualities. Shadow attribute, using the power of romantic attraction for private agendas. Child wounded, light attributes, awakens compassion and desire to serve other wounded children, opens the learning path of forgiveness. Shadow attributes, blames all dysfunctional relationships on childhood wounds, resists moving on through forgiveness. Warrior, light attributes, strength, skill, discipline, and toughness of will. Heroism, stoicism, and self-sacrifice in conquering the ego. Shadow attributes, trading ethical principles for victory at any cost, indifference to the suffering inflicted on others. Yikes. Servant, light attributes, delight in serving others with a free and loving heart. Shadow attribute, using the lack of money as an excuse not to move forward with life. Not liking this energy, you guys. Winter. Okay. Number 16. So 16 is chariot energy, because the 7 pulls through at 16. And 16 is, yeah, Chariot, which is integrating shadows, balance, winter's frozen energy. Okay. And we have the Shaman, number 16 again. Wow, 16 and 16. So we have 2 sevens. 7 is about faith, wisdom, reflection, understanding. 77, a master number. That's trust the fall, an adventure that arises from deep wisdom, trust of life, and trust of self. Shaman is healing energy, like a healer of sorts. Then we have Doe, and that's the feminine energy, innocence. And then we have Quicksilver, 24, or the number 6, Gemini energy, Cancer energy. We have Sap of the Moon planet, number 41, or the number 5. And then we have the Mentor, 6 again, so 2 6s. 6 is problem solving, compassion, harmony. It's also Lovers, Gemini energy. It's also Devil energy, Capricorn. So give me a minute to sit here with this energy, you guys, okay? Okay. I do feel 2 energies here, and I think I know which one is you. You attribute who is who. Doesn't matter how I sort of channel it, okay? Because sometimes how I channel it doesn't really make sense to who I'm calling who, but the energy is going to make a lot of sense to you if you resonate with this pile. The person predominantly in this energy understands the challenge to be that there's a stuckness here because of a way that they are. I say the way that they are. I don't know if it's they see this in them or if you're seeing this in them, but someone is seeing this. Somebody here who is very, very inconsiderate of the other person, like a lot. And they allow their own selfish way of getting what they want. And I do feel it's physical, sexual. And it's an inconsiderateness here that this person sort of has their will in their way. And they use that energy in order to fulfill some part of self. And there's this energy of like being slimy in some way, or like saying whatever it takes in some way to finagle their way into the relationship. But there is, okay, so this kind of makes sense here if this is your person, because it does feel like it's your person. So, but I wasn't sure if it was how you're seeing your person or if it's this person, how they see themselves. But I think it's how they see themselves, because there's a seeing you. This might turn and flip-flop, so just bear with me as it comes out. But I see the energy. They see you as this doe here. Innocent, ready to be taken advantage of. Now, I'm not saying that they're coming out to hurt you just to hurt you, but it's like, here is prime meat for me to be in the energy in which I'm used to being in order for me to fill something within myself at any expense. And so you're unsuspecting, and you're this beautiful like doe energy, vulnerable, loving, divine feminine energy. And so there is this thing that I'm learning from engaging with you that is tapping into a wounded part of myself. And every time I connect with you in the unhealthy way, I tap into or scratch or touch the nerve of the thing within me that's been traumatized. But your energy touches that thing in a way that makes it feel safe and protected and it's like healing energy for that wound that I have. So this is why I keep coming to you. I come to you because what you provide to me makes that wound within me feel very safe. It's like medicine for that open wound that's really crying out. And so I keep coming to you because you're my source of this. And so this action feels very like I don't care. And it also keeps us in an energy that seems very, very stuck and frozen, because instead of me finding tools to deal with that which is torn, broken, damaged, or a gap of wound within me, I take your energy and I fill it with a band-aid or some sort of comfort every time I do what I do with you. And somehow I finagle my way, talk you into this because you're kind and you're a little gullible here. But I feel like this person's not dealing with the consequences of their action. You guys, I don't like this energy. Let's look at this sap of the moon planet. I'm sorry, it's like there's lots going on here, and it's sort of sometimes this happens when I don't know. It's like I can't understand this energy because it's some real weird frequency, and I don't even understand the psychology behind it, because it's a very, I don't know, I can't resonate with this thing. Okay, so let's see. What is this? Nocturnal, sacred water of the unconscious. Secus lunaria is an ancient substance said to be born of water, plant, and moonlight. This elixir develops in the depth of night and is thus a metaphor for the wellspring of the unconscious. When this alchemical magic is afoot, it's all about dreams. The answer you are seeking will not come from the intellect nor the opinion of others. It will surface from the depths as if rising from the ancient waters of your memory. The work is to rest, restore, and awaken your celestial senses. Do this by pausing, by releasing your grip. The sap of the moon planet signifies you are in the deep territory of destiny and the imagination. This is a mythic moment. The dream is waiting to show itself, but awaits your sincere invitation. Ask and rest. All will be revealed. To ponder the divine feminine. Okay. There's deep, 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 deep wounding. And how you engage with this person, I don't think you're meaning to engage, but you might have deep wounding as well. And how you engage with this person isn't allowing this person to deal with their trauma in a way here that is a permanent remedy. And the only permanent real remedy of healing a wound is to go into the subconscious and transmute that energy. But I think you understand that there's something about this person that's like shapeshifter in some way. And so you might not be the first, or you might not feel like you're sort of the last person then potentially that this person would engage in this way. And I think there needs to be an understanding that you have of your own self so that this person can resolve their wounding on their own sort of accord by doing the transmutation and the subconscious work, the shadow work, by not utilizing you and hurting you in a way here. So this person is everything that is not good. They're treating you in a cold way. It feels very much like if they've ever been loving or kind or showing interest, self-serving. It's like a physical thing coming around to get what I need. And I feel what I need to from you. That gives me temporary okayness. And then I discard you when I'm feeling okay. Like, this is really hard for me to channel, you guys, you know? And I know I say, oh, deliver the truth here. It's like I am, but it's difficult for me to deliver this because I feel like, and maybe this is your point of view, you know, that this is how you're seeing this person and this is what the big challenge is with this person. But I do feel like, it's like a win at all costs energy that this person has. And there's a slickness and a slyness in convincing you to do whatever it is that maybe you've done in the past. But I feel like Spirit's coming through really with things are going to get stuck and stunted here. And you're left out in the cold as a result of your own doing, maybe your own naiveness here. Okay. And so, yes, we want to be loving. Of course. Okay. But loving is understanding to love ourselves and to have boundaries within self. And so I feel like there is an experience that's sort of left things in chaos. And maybe you don't talk to this person anymore. And I feel like we see fire and we see frozen. So there's like these polar energies that are very extreme. You know, so there's extremeness when it comes to this connection. There's a lot of fire, there's a lot of chemistry. And so we might get pulled into the chemistry, but there's a need to maybe be a little bit more adaptable with how we deal. Because we might be very fixed in our understanding of who this person is. And so we might shut them out because we felt they were very cold, you know? And it's like this person comes in all hot and heavy. And it's like, okay, there's a lot there. So my only way of understanding how to deal with this person is to shut them out. But it's like Spirit saying, no, maybe this is why this is a lesson here of sorts. Is we got to learn to be more like this Quicksilver. How do we healthily deal with situations instead of just shutting or blocking or freezing them out? Now, I'm not saying you have to include people like this in your world. You do what you want to do. I'm just talking about sometimes the universe puts in front of us challenging people and situations. They don't go away. They keep repeating and they haunt us and we can't break out and we don't know what to do and we're suffering. This is what I'm talking about. Why? Because there's a lesson of knowing how to adapt, meet a middle ground between one energy and another. And like I always say here, there's not a positive, good energy and a negative, bad energy. There's just positive and negative. It works like energy. Masculine, feminine. Okay, so negative is inward. Okay, it's taking its inward energy, it's contracting, and positive is expanding. Okay, it's masculine energy, it's outward, it's radiant, neither is good nor bad. Okay, but when we experience contracting energies, it's stuff that goes small, so we feel bad, we feel guilt, we feel like lack, it goes inwards. Okay, and positive is like external, so it's like expansive love, it radiates. And so there's a need for us to understand energy in order to get through this healing process. And right now I feel like there's two extremes here, and I feel like the person here who is sort of Don Juanish is in this fire energy, and you're in this more cold energy now, or like trying to freeze or block out, because we only know how to block out. We don't know how to deal in a healthy way. And so Spirit's wanting us to break out of that frozen state of all extreme in order to know how to deal with the fire person. Okay, now I feel like the fire person, though, does shut you out. So yeah, the coldness does come from the way this person's acting. It feels very sort of almost narcissistic here. I get what I want and then I freeze you out. It doesn't feel good at all. Okay, but what I'm saying is predominantly now I feel the state in which you're at is like some frozen state, because that's the only way we know how to cope. And you might say, good, because I don't want to deal with this person anymore. That's like, okay, then why are you here at this reading? Clearly you still want to, or you're still stuck, or there's something. Okay, so if you're going to leave those sort of comments, take a look. I'm going to leave you the mirror emoji. Okay, the mirror is look at yourself then. Okay, and yourself here is here because I'm trusting you want to heal and understand. And I'm telling you, this isn't going to heal. When we say, I just want to block, or I'm just going to ignore. Okay, go ahead, see how that works. Now that we're done that, now we're back here again. Now I'm going to say, how do we get here? And we don't need someone to be in a certain way for us to get here. Okay, and when I say here, it's like the Quicksilver. This is like more adaptable, fluid. Okay, it's more like shapeshifter type energy. And so how do we get here? We get here through leaning into the fear and understanding that we aren't fixed in one way. that we can adapt in certain ways, and that yes, people will engage with us. It's just like chemistry because it's energy, and so different people will bring out different chemistries within us. And so I feel like both children were wounded here, and the inner child wound is needing to be looked at and dealt with. And we can't just skip the lesson of the universe by saying, oh, just hang on to this child wound and go date someone else. It's like, well, you will, but this childhood wound hasn't been healed. There's a healing that needs to happen in the presence of each other. And it just so happens you guys are on opposite ends of the scales. Not one's good and one's bad. This hurts. This hurts like hell. Who would want to live like this? You know, face the creator here, knowing I've used people, or I've come and taken advantage and conquered, you know, like conquered people at my own sort of advantage. This doesn't feel good. This is not good energy. Okay, but neither is the energy of being taken advantage of. But I honestly, like, this energy almost feels like it's at least more ethically positive, if you will, you know. So you can live with yourself because you're not the one that created this, but at the same time, it's like, no, you're not creating it, but we could sustain the pain, we could sustain the unhealing, we could sustain the childhood trauma that allowed this to continue if it went more than when we should have known better. Because I feel like who I'm talking to here is we should have known better at a certain point, and we probably did not. And that's because the childhood wound was still open. So there's a need to dig in the subconscious. So what's the big challenge here? The big challenge is that we have two people in two energies learning how to work together here in order to heal the childhood wound. And both of you guys are equally responsible for your own healing. And one could be completely naive and ignorant to the fact that ignorance doesn't exclude one from responsibility. And one could be ignorant to the fact that they take and just act in a certain way to get what they want and I don't know, trick people into their web. And that's also not a way to be. So there's lessons here. There's healing and engaging with each other. And so as long as we're aware of our own engagement, then we can sort of work with it. But if we're still here like this, we got to start to understand, you know, and I feel like when the fire gets close to the winter, no matter how fixed we are in our position, I never want to see them or I block them or whatever. Once that fire comes close to the winter starts to melt. And so we could be very stuck in repetitive cycles. Every time this person comes around, somehow they sweep me off my feet, sweet talk me into, I don't know, buying them the car, giving them the money, you know, sleeping with them. I don't know what you keep giving to this person. Okay, you don't have to, but you might feel at the mercy of giving to this person because this person's like a playa, you know? I don't know, but it's annoying as fuck. And so let's take a look. We're going to look at the tarot and see what we see here. But I'm starting to get really irritated here because I feel like you just want to escape and this person won't leave you alone. And now I have a hair in my mouth. Spirit's like, stop swearing. Okay, I'll stop judging. That was my own judgment. Take the hair out of my mouth. Okay, so let's take a look because the tarot's going to give us some insight because, I don't know, maybe it flipped halfway through. Like your person's pulling through and then I got the sort of spirits pulling through there with some more objective advice for the suffering. You know, how are we going to heal this trauma connection? Well, we're going to heal it by intervening with some truth. And the truth here is that there's two wounded children. Okay, so spirits. Pile number 4 is here to understand what does the person on their mind, see as a challenge in this connection. So what do they see as a challenge? It's like they're getting the milk for free. And there's no challenge here, but in the subconscious, there's a heavy guilt. There's a knowing that you protect them from that childhood wound like a Band-Aid. And the Band-Aid is only good for a couple of days, and then the Band-Aid gets old and falls away, and then they need the Band-Aid again. There's a hole in their bucket here, Liza, and you're filling that bucket. And I don't blame you because that fire keeps melting your winter time. And it's the chemistry. So how do you then change it? You have to be that more adaptable energy and find a way and to dig into the subconscious to heal the inner child wound, transmute energy that's blocked, understandings, beliefs, shadow work. Okay, so let's see, spirits, what is it that pile 4 that needs to know about this person on their mind and how they see this challenge in the connection? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good. Please help me to channel this message clear and concisely for pile 4 for the greatest healing for the pile 4 in this reading. Thank you, Spirit. I feel like I need to get the sage out. Just feels like very heavy traumas here. So we'll take the 3 of Wands that revealed itself. And this is all the shadow deck. So there's a lot of shadow here on both sides, like mega big time. You know, we have a lot of trauma here in this pile. Hermit. Oh, Hermit came out, I think, for all piles in one form or fashion. Virgo. Working with the divine so that we can get a better understanding of ourselves. And shadow. Shadow work. Know thyself. Know thy shadow. Concluding. Yes. Concluding, I feel, is mega important because I feel like we're going through a major life cycle lesson here we need to put behind us. And the only way we can do that is by going inwards and knowing thyself and dealing with the shadow self here. Okay, so what do we have? Chariot, integration of shadow, balance, working with the universe to have success. In order to move forward, we need to keep the chariot upright and it's going to wobble. So we need to not be too much on one side because then it flips. And so that's what I'm getting from that fire and ice. You know, the fire and ice here is giving me like reckless energies with the chariot. We have to be balanced. Cancer energy, the magician in reverse, more Virgo, Gemini. 9 Pentacles, that's the confidence card. Page of Cups in reverse and the Queen of Pentacles. More Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. So heavy Virgo in the spread. And then 6 Pentacles. What's under the World? Page of Pentacles. Okay, let me sit here with this energy because I'm not quite sure what the heck is going on. Okay, I'm getting a lot of energy here, and I'm not sure which messaging is going to resonate for you. So I'm going to do my best here, okay? Might become clear more near the end. I feel like if someone took advantage of you, Spirit has one message that's very clear here, and it's all about what is unconditional love, and unconditional love can only be achieved when we're honest with ourselves, when we go within to look at parts of our shadow and know what is worthy of us giving love to and not. And so there's this energy of knowing your own value in this world will only come once you connect to your heart space. This doesn't mean you give love to this person in a way here that keeps you engaged with them. This is, I am using what I've experienced with this person here because there was something within me, again, the childhood wounding, that needs to be looked at. And that is some trauma within my heart space. And once I see it and connect to it, that's where my answer is. And then that's when I can move forward with myself. I don't need to deal with anyone or anything. So I'm confident and I can rely on my own ability to move on and give to situations that are balanced and successful for me and put this experience behind me. But until I tap into this, I'm not going to manifest anything different. I'm going to keep manifesting this person coming in and out, more experiences like this, more people potentially like this, experience the pain. I can't manifest forward movement. I can't manifest the new thing to give to. I can't manifest the end of this cycle. It's not happening in the energy that I'm in. And so in order for me to get into the manifestation of what will close this out, because you're always manifesting, but what you're manifesting right now is not good. Okay, and the reason it's not good is cycles with this person, with the person, is because the heart space is still closed. And it's closed because of how we're seeing this experience. Once we dig into the truth of the matter, and the only way to dig into the truth is to go within ourselves to see a great shadow, then the truth comes out, and truth sometimes hurts. We see parts of ourselves and we say, ooh, you know what? Maybe I wasn't being honest with myself, but I might have more accountability here than I thought. Maybe I was this or that. And this isn't victim blaming. Like, nobody should be in this energy, okay? But this person is traumatized. But that doesn't mean anything. Anyone can be traumatized and not pull at me if I'm completely secure in my healing. If I've done my shadow work, I'm secure, people don't pull at me. So we can't say this person did and that person did. It's like the person only does what we allow that person to pull from within us. Okay, so unless they had a gun to your head and made you, like do all sorts of acts on them, it was a choice of your own. So we need to connect to the heart space here. There needs to be forgiveness. There needs to be a truth embrace. There needs to be loving of self. There needs to be the confidence restored back in yourself. But I feel like we're jumping the gun. And jumping the gun as we lean into this energy of the confidence. We're already in snow energy, thinking this is confidence, but it's really masquerading as a 9 Pentacles and a Queen of Pentacles, but it's frozen state. And so we can't manifest, we're still stuck. And Spirit's saying, no, this isn't confidence blocking them or saying, I am in my strength. I am in my empowered. I just block them. This person's a jerk. No. True 9 Pentacles and Queen Pentacles is I did the shadow work. I took accountability. I could still love. I healed. I understand this person's trauma. I could forgive what they did. I don't accept it. I don't think it was great, but I see what they did. I understand. I've fully healed from it. Now I'm in my 9 Pentacles. Now I'm in my Queen of Pentacles. Now I can move forward. Now I can manifest a new beginning for me because I can close out this chapter and get to something that's going to be balanced. But right now all I'm experiencing is the imbalance because I keep manifesting the woe is me, thinking that I'm empowered, thinking that I'm in this energy, but I'm not. And so therefore I'm not creating movement in my world because I haven't integrated the shadow part of me, because I too was this wounded child that needed to be healed. So therefore the universe put this Don Juan person in front of me who is really annoying in order to heal this wound within me so that I could ascend in a way here that moves forward in life and can expand and grow and not be stuck in the same types of relationships. Because when I have this type of a wound, I'm attracting the same types of people. So this person might come in a different form over and over and over again, but this wound needs to be healed. Or else they'll keep reincarnating here on earth until I deal with this. I could run, I could be frozen, I could pretend, I could be, in my, empowered state. I am the gift. No, you're not. We're all the gift. All of us. So what does that mean? I have to go in here and I have to really sit with a part of myself that forgives my own self for actions and decisions I made, and forgive the fact that I saw this person as anything other than someone who was traumatized, in order for me to be free and be able to stand confident in my energy. That's the only way I can be in a fair distribution and have movement towards a new thing and close this person out. Okay? Now, for some of you guys, there's a manifestation here. In order to manifest, and I still think that, for some of you guys, it's just a way in on from this person because it was a karmic thing. But for those of you guys who understand that there's a soul experience here with this person, there needs to be movement or success and a manifestation of moving with this person towards the next step. And this is laying the groundwork with this person of an experience so that you guys can open your heart space and put this experience with this person behind you. But either way, we have to learn the soul lesson here, whether it be so we can move on with this person or move away from this person. But if this person is also mirroring you, then they're having to heal wounds as well. And the only way that they heal their wounds is by you mirroring back to them and reflecting a healed version of yourself. Because if you're a divine feminine, you're leading this spiritual journey. And so you're going through this healing. Okay, so let us do some more and see what Spirit wants to show to you, beautiful hearts. Spirit, for pile number 4, what are they needing to know then about the person they came here about? Is there anything further we can dive into that energy or communicate to pile 4 that might be missing from this reading? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 4. 4 of Pentacles in reverse. I need to let go. So the comfort zone right now is that ice, I think. I block them out. I avoid them. I resist. I'm no longer talking to this person. I don't want to deal with them. I don't like how they treated me. What they did was bad, 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 bad. Judgment, 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 judgment. I have little accountability here. What they did was bad. Gotta let go. 10 Cups. So this is the ultimate utopian state. And look, 2 people here. Okay, 2 people create 10 Cups. Emotional happiness. Long-term committed happiness. 4 of Cups. Coming out of rejection. Coming out of that state. Looking at the things that don't work. The bad things. The bad things. Coming out. No longer feeling rejected. Now getting really empowered. Not feeling like someone's taken your power. You know, like feeling like they have all the control. They are doing something here to me. 4s are all about stability. Okay, it's Emperor. 4 is also the Death card in the tarot, which is transformation. And in order to really transform, we have to release. And what are we releasing? The big old shadow we still have. Tower. So we still need the illusion to fall. The story we upkept. Okay, because there's something we're upkeeping here. And that tower definitely needs to fall in order for us to build to this 10 Cups. Because if we start building on something that is faulty or is unhealed, because the shadow still isn't healed, so let's say a new relationship, or we start to engage with the person again, whatever might be new, it is being added to this state, the wounded child state, unless we transmute that shadow. And so we need to deconstruct this tower. We need to let what's not real fall. The only way to let it fall is to surrender and let go, and not hang on and not cling to stories. Okay, Page of Pentacles in reverse, or else we can't manifest the new. Like I said, the new, once we close the world, is at the mercy of dealing with closing out the past. The new is sort of always a carrot that we can't reach. Can't manifest the new until we deal with the letting go of the tower, whether it be, again, with this person or a new relationship. By Pentacles, we got to get out of the victim mindset, get left out of the cold, like come out of the cold, which is that frozen state, because I feel we're choosing to stay there. We're choosing to feel the rejection or see the victim mindset that we got hurt and that they did what they did. It's like that's a very 3D thing. It's like, yes, they did what they did, but how you take that energy and deal with it and transmute it and acknowledge and without judgment. That's how you engage and move past this lesson, not harboring and stewing, because the only person you're damaging really is yourself at the end of the day. This person can probably just mosey on along to their next thing. Okay, if they have a good way of blocking emotions or what they do, if there is some narcissism in this person. And so the only person you damage is yourself by hanging on to anger, resentment, rejections. They took something from me, my innocence, my trust, all of that stuff. They don't need you don't need to be involved in that energy and keep a string to this person. You're stringing to them. They're not stringing to you. Okay? Yeah. Embrace some truth and justice. So, beautiful angels, messages come the way they come, okay? And I'm only delivering this because I want you to get very clear with the truth, no matter how painful, because the truth is what's going to set you free. And so there's a truth here we're needing to see, that things happen in this world, whether we think they're just or not, is not up to us, because karma could be from many years and many lifetimes of things that we don't even know why. The universe knows why. The universe has a big picture. We're only seeing our lifetime. And so we might think it's unjust, but it doesn't matter what we think. Karma is going to happen, and energy always has a way of balancing out. So we could have been on the flip side in a past life. Who knows? But know this, the universe is going to bring justice, or has already brought justice, because I feel like this is closing out a major karmic cycle with the world. In order for things to be restored and just, we have to accept some form of truth. And the only way we can accept truth is us dealing with truth. It's not about what this person does or says or doesn't do or say, because that's them. That's their journey. The only thing you control is your own truth, what you see. And so you can choose to believe in the illusion, choose to feed in the tower of the victimhood, or embrace the sort of truth no matter how painful. Cut away any illusion, victim thought stories, whatever we told ourselves, in order to free ourselves, because that's what's most important. And what we're freeing ourselves of is that I'm not worthy, that this person did this, that, and the other, because all you're doing is preventing a new beginning from you manifesting, okay, whether you want it with this person or not, because Spirit is saying you're deserving of a 10 cups. And the 10 cups is actually your karma to experience. But we have to experience this lesson in order for us to understand and heal this, because this thing exists. We can't tiptoe around it. There's some wound here. You can't be just, pretend to overcome by blocking or not dealing with this person or remaining angry or like thinking you're rejected and you have no skin in the game. You have all skin in the game. It's only about you right now. And Spirit's saying you become honest with the truth. Through pain, through adversity is the only way we learn and see truths. And now we have a better understanding. Okay? And so you're going to grab this, or you're going to sit here and keep missing out on the new thing you can create. I don't think you want to be here anymore. So we have to let go, and the only reason why we would still hang on to that version is because this wound makes us, it's not really even about this person anymore. It's this wound. Makes something within us feel like there's something secure here if I keep the victim story alive. Because when I let go of the victim story, then it's like, ooh, then I got to deal with the real thing. And what's the real thing? I don't know. It's in your shadow. Maybe the real thing is XYZ about your shadow that you don't want to see. So we keep stagnant here. We keep stagnant here because it protects us from the real truth of something else. And something else we're trying to avoid, to not see about ourselves. And it's not even about this person. It's maybe I didn't think I was worthy, or I never felt loved, or I have this thing that I've been suppressing all my life about my sexuality or who I am, or that I enjoy this, that, and the other, but I was refusing to see it or accept that part of me. And so this is that wound. And so I was using this victim story as a mindscape or as a thing, And so this person, really, I should be kissing their feet, because all this person did was present to me an opportunity to heal my child wound. But instead I'm mad at them, or instead I'm blaming them, or instead I'm, sad about it. No, good. This person did what they did, and now we're good, because we've learned lessons that other people might have not have learned themselves. And so you're ahead of the game now. You got the bad part out of the way. Now let's lean into this. Okay, this truth, this clarity, because I feel like once you do this, you're going to manifest something beautiful. A 10 cups, like this is what everyone strives for, because it's your 10 cups. Whatever 10 cups means to you, your emotional happiness with another. That's what you're manifesting, but it's blocked, okay, because the Spirit doesn't want you building on falsities, because I really feel you're suppressing some part of yourself by hanging on to this story. And so there's a need to really, really be honest here, okay? Pile number 4. Let's see how this turned. These readings were interesting. I love you very much. I wish you the very best on your healing. I know this wasn't everyone's reading. You don't have to take the advice here. If you found yourself here and triggered, then this message was most likely for you if you made it to the end here. But I'm not the one telling you you have to be here, okay? So you can either take this or leave this. That's up to you. No one's forcing you to do anything at all. Okay, I love you very much, and I wish you the very, very best, and I will see you at the next one. Bye-bye.